Ankole livestock auction, which is currently happening in Bela. This is organized by the Ankole Society of South Africa and is set to take place on President Cyril Ramaphosa's farm in Bela. Outside the farm, of course, the EFF has promised to hold a protest march following revelations of a burglary incident at the farm where millions of US dollars were stolen. Samkele Maseko is standing by for the latest for us. Samkele, great to have you back. So, what do we know thus far about the president's attendance there? Do we know if he's going to be attending, Samkele? And what more can you tell us? Are you also still experiencing those signal problems?
In essence, yes, at the entrance of the president's farm, the signal has in some sort of way been tampered with, if one may say that so, because the signal was perfectly fine earlier on, but after a while we were told to go up. We could no longer have cell phone reception. We were told to go about 3 kilometers up. We will have cell phone reception, as you are seeing with those visuals on air now through our DSNG van of the auction that is currently taking place at the president's farm, which has been shrouded by a controversy on allegations of kidnapping, burglary and concealing information and bribing those whom were allegedly tortured for breaking into the president's farm and stealing those millions of dollars that were allegedly stashed in furniture at the president's farm. The president has said that these were proceeds of selling game and Ankole, where that society of Ankole breed society within South Africa, of those 16 individuals who breed Ankoles in the country, they are having this specific auction at the president's farm. We do know that the Namibian authorities have denied doing any dirty work of President Cyril Ramaphosa and saying that they did met at no man's land with South African authorities to try and get that information coming out of who stole those millions of dollars from the president's farm. They tried to get that preservation order, and they were subsequently not getting any cooperation from the South African government, and in particular the Ministry of Justice, which Minister Ronald Lamula has to answer some questions with regards to his interaction with the Namibian authorities, or his department's interaction with the Namibian authorities on getting that preservation order of those individuals whom are allegedly at the center of stealing those millions of dollars from the president's farm. But President Ramaphosa, speaking at the Limpopo ANC Provincial Conference at the ranch in Polokwane, he said that these were proceeds of game and that no public funds were stolen. President Cyril Ramaphosa, and president of the country, who is at the center of this controversy where millions of dollars were stolen at his farm, saying that these were not proceeds belonging to the coffers of this country. These were not taxpayers' money that was stolen at his farm. This was his personal money, going too far as to saying that what is reported by the former spy boss Arthur Fraser, that the millions of dollars that were stolen at his farm were not equivalent to 60 million rands in about $4 million that were allegedly taken from his farm, saying that this amount was far less, and saying that he will go through the due process, the various investigations that are taking place. He is now minimizing speaking on this matter. It was a contentious issue in Parliament when the president tabled the presidency budget speech. He was heckled. He was tried to be stopped by the economic freedom fighters, which now say they will be treating President Ramaphosa the same way that they treated former President Jacob Zuma, saying that President Ramaphosa is at the center of illicit money flows, is at the center of money laundering, and is at the center of bribery and concealing the information and torturing individuals whom broke into his farm. And they go further as the EFFs to say he broke his oath of office by failing to report a burglary at his farm. As you can see the visuals that we are currently rolling as well now, that the auction is going ahead at the president's farm in the midst of this controversy of what allegedly transpired on the burglary when it transpired in 2020 at this farm, that it's taken about 2 years for this matter to come out to the public, for knowing that systems of government of investigation were kicked in, knowing very well that the Namibian authorities were contacted by the South African government. The Namibian authorities asked if whether a case had been registered in South Africa when they were communicating with the Ministry of Justice led by Minister Ronald Lamula, who is an ally of President Cyril Ramaphosa, by the way. So it essentially tells you that this matter was stopped halfway when no legal case was laid within South Africa, with the president saying he did not go to the nearest police station to lay a case. He reported the matter to the head of his presidential protection unit, and there is no case registered on this matter at this point in time. Judging from what the president of the country has said, we've not yet spoken to the head of security. No one within the media space have spoken to the head of protection of President Cyril Ramaphosa, which the president said he notified his head of security over this matter.
So, you know, as you say that, I want to take you to a statement that was made by the deputy president. He said that things have not reached a point where the president must step down as all of this is ongoing. I want you to explore for us, what does this tell us about the leadership that we have currently?
Well, I can't say what it tells us about the leadership that we have currently of the country. What that I can say is that South Africans can judge for themselves. Voters can judge for themselves on what kind of leadership that they have. But what we do know is that various presidents of the ANC, presidents of the country, have been shrouded by controversy over the years, whether you go with the former President Mbeki on his HIV/AIDS policies and the decisions that were taken by himself and Mantu Shabalala Msimang over the AIDS policy issues. You go to former President Jacob Gedleyihlekisa Zuma's allegations of fraud, corruption, money laundering, and the charges that he faced, particularly when he was sacked as the deputy president of the country from 2005 and going towards the ANC's Watershed Polokwane conference, where he emerged as ANC president, and subsequently to when he became president of the country in 2009. You go to former president of interim president, transition president, former president Kgalema Motlanthe, over his home in Blue Hills, and the allegations that he faced over that home, which he was supposedly rented, he supposedly left it dilapidated, and the various controversies that have surrounded presidents. You go to Cyril Ramaphosa now, back then in 2018, surrounded by allegations that of the CR17 bank statements, that he bought ANC delegates, and allegations that the courts in the country, the judiciary, is captured by the president. Now you've got allegations of the Phala gate that has transpired here within the country at former President Jacob Zuma with his Nkandla homestead. So any leader of a political party in South Africa at some point in time will be faced with allegations either of corruption, of this and that. You've got issues of Nkandla Gate in the country. So it's up to South Africans to decide for themselves on what type of leaders that they have. Samkele Maseko can't say what type of leadership that we have. But what we do know is that there are allegations against the president. The president has said he'll follow due process. You've got people and leaders of the ANC like Tony Yangeni who've come out to say that this is a money launderer. You've got Carl Niehaus who've said that President Ramaphosa, alleged that President Ramaphosa is a money launderer and someone who captures people, tortures them in order to try and gain back his millions of dollars. So it's within the political space and the political theater that they would have casted certain aspersions against any leader of the time. We've got various allegations against Julius Malema as well, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters. So at any point in time, political leaders will face allegations. It's up to those whom allege to prove that indeed that perceived leader did what he is alleged to do so, and it is up to that specific leader to go to a court of law to clear their name.
Right, let me take you back to those press statements that we've seen, especially after the news of the scandal broke. We've seen how some of those press statements on this matter on many occasions, give us more questions than answers. Why do you think, it's taking so long for us to really get clarity, especially from the president himself on this particular matter?
Well, what we do know is that the president speaking in parliament has said that he's letting due process follow. He's not going to speak on this particular matter until the National Prosecuting Authority decides on what to do. He's been very thin on the details. As you know, when a issue is contentious and has a possibility of being litigious, those whom are implicated spend less time speaking about the matter because they will further implicate themselves. So it's pretty clear in common law that when you are alleged, you speak less, you speak more when you are charged and in the dock. You let your legal team do all the speaking and you say less. So that is pretty clear that the president is adopting that method to say less, let his legal team do the groundwork and see what the state comes with and what proof Arthur Fraser brings to the table. He will respond to that behind closed doors, and if it's leaked and if we get access to it, well and good for us as media practitioners. We will report on those matters, particularly when it comes to the responses and the responding affidavit that the president or the responding papers, if and whether he's charged or not, that his legal team sends on this particular matter will be very interesting, and we will definitely respond on it. But what we do know is that the president is speaking less on the matter, saying that due process must be followed. The Hawks must investigate the matter, decide on whether they're charging him or not. He must provide explanations on why he did not open a case. Where did the money come from? How much was there? How was it stolen? Did he go after those individuals? Did he torture them? Did he abuse his oath of office? Did he go against his oath of office by not reporting a case with the nearest police station? Why did he not do that? Where was this money going? Why was it not banked? Was it declared with the South African Reserve Bank? Did he go over the time limit that you have in order to bank this money, which is in a foreign currency, which I think you've got about 30 days in order to bank a foreign currency that is within your possession if it's in hard cash? Those are the questions the president needs to answer. And Arthur Fraser has met with the Hawks, has provided them with more evidence, videos, pictures, emails, voice notes. It's now up to the Hawks to investigate and get the president's side of the story. But you will definitely not hear the president speak on this matter, as he has said he's not going to do so. He's just going to follow due process, and then at the right time he will address the issue once it's decided upon, and once the political ramifications kick in within the ANC, once he goes to the Integrity Commission of the party, whom he says he has volunteered to go there himself instead of being called by the Integrity Commission chaired by George Mashamba.
So now, before I let you go, I saw you there speaking to some of the attendees, some of them clearly unfazed about some of the matters that are currently on the public domain. Is that still the sense on the ground?
Yes, those whom are here to support the president and come to this auction seemingly are unfazed with what is surrounding this Phala farm, the Phala gate as it's been dubbed. They are saying that they would be warm when they meet the president. They will tell him to follow due process on this particular matter, and that they are here to learn about Ankole farming within the country. So it seems as if those whom support the president are unfazed about this particular matter. We do know that his political detractors are using this matter to come guns blazing politically against him, particularly in the run-up to the 55th National Conference of the ANC in December, where if Ramaphosa is charged, he will effectively have to step aside and will not be eligible to contest as the ANC president in December. As the ANC resolution clearly states, those whom are charged cannot contest any leadership positions in the party.
Right, Samkele Maseko, thank you very much for that comprehensive report indeed.